All right, so a couple things. Um, I got another box of books today. Um, I don't know. I've been really thinking about this. So I ordered this. I was having a night of insomnia, and I ended up ordering these books probably almost 3 weeks ago, and then they showed up today. And I've been thinking quite a bit about the whole buying books and bringing books into the house thing because I love books and I want to have all the books. But at the same time, right now, I think last time I checked my Goodreads, I have over 400 books. Um, a few of them, I think about I'm overestimating. I think maybe about 70 of them are books I have already read. And they are just sitting in boxes waiting to be read again because they're books that I imagine that I will return to. But I need to get shelves for them because I don't think I'm going to return to books that are sitting in boxes packed away. I'm not going to think about them and I'm not going to dig them up, unfortunately. So I am thinking about getting shelves for them. And then, but I don't know, like I've been thinking about the coming year and I'm thinking about, well, should I try as one of my resolutions to not buy any books, say for the first 6 months of 2020, while I try to knock off some books off my TBR, or what should I do? I'm kind of at a loss thinking about it. It got me thinking about the Japanese have a seemingly brilliant language. It seems really complicated, and I doubt I'd ever be able to actually learn the language fluently. But they seem to have a word for things that English never has a word for. um, I remember learning a Japanese word ta, meaning to take lightly, but to understand deeply. I love that. I was like, whoa, that's a like really simple sounding word with a very, very profound meaning. They also have a word called Tsundoku. Tsundoku. It's Tsundoku, and it means to allow books to pile up. I never read them, essentially. Have an entire library of books that you just never read. And I definitely have that. I have books. I mean, I of course intend to read them all, but they just don't get read, right? Because you don't have enough time. And then about 2 days ago, as I've been pondering this question, before this forgotten order of books showed up, on my Facebook feed, one of my favorite websites is called Brainpickings. Um, and she has an article that she wrote. It pops up every now and then, actually, um, titled. Oh, I gotta scroll up. So it's Brainpickings is by a website by Maria Popova. Poplova. Oh my goodness, Popova, Maria Popova. And she has some very insightful articles that she writes. But this one is called Umberto Eco's AntiLibrary: Why Unread Books Are More Valuable to Our Lives Than Read Ones. How to Become an Anti-Scholar in a Culture That Treats Knowledge as an Ornament That Allows Us to Rise in the Pecking Order. And I found this article really interesting. And the argument that gets made in this article is that apparently the writer Umberto Eco belongs to a small class of scholars who are encyclopedic, insightful, and non-dull. He's the owner of a large personal library containing 30 100,000 books. That is a very large personal library, if you ask me. And separates visitors into two categories: those who react with, "Wow, Senor Professor Dottoro Echo, what a library you have. How many of these books have you read?" And the others, a very small minority, who get the point that a private library is not an ego-boosting appendage, but a research tool. Read books are far less valuable than unread ones. The library should contain as much of what you do not know as your financial means, mortgage rates, and the currently tight real estate market allows you to put there. You will accumulate more knowledge and more books as you grow older. And the growing number of unread books on the shelves will look at you menacingly. And this is true. Nothing in my life, very few things in my life have proven to be more accurate than that statement right there. As I age, the growing number of unread books on my shelves are becoming quite menacing, because I'm becoming very acutely aware of the fact that time is running out. With 400 books, if I could, I read maybe 50 books a year, 50, 60. I'm not totally sure yet. So I've been trying to keep track, and then things keep getting in the way, and I'm like losing my notebooks and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, indeed, the more you know, the larger the rows of unread books. Let us call this collection of unread books an anti-library. Yeah, anyway, so the argument is that actually the more unread books you have in your library, the more valuable it is, right? Clearly. And I appreciate that sentiment, but also there's a point when it just becomes unruly, I think. For me personally, like, I just start to feel overwhelmed. I just start to feel like, and then I actually stop reading. I've noticed that once I start to feel overwhelmed by the books, I'm just like, I don't know what to read, and I'll pull a book out, I'll start reading it, and I just start feeling pressured to read it, because I'm like, you have to read this book so you can get rid of the book and make space, and it just, yeah, it starts to become a bit of a headache for me. Although I appreciate, like I said, this whole idea of having a large library, although it is to some degree a luxury, isn't it? Like, most of us, I'm very fortunate. I am a single person currently living in a 3-bedroom house, which is ridiculous. So, I have a guest bedroom that has a giant closet that I could turn into a library, and then I have a whole separate room where I store my gear and stuff, but I could definitely use part of that as a library. Plus I have my living room here. Like, I do have lots of room, but also, like I say, it just starts to feel suffocating. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about 2020. I don't know. Do I embrace the Tsundoku? I don't know. I really don't. Because I find it hard when I see a book that I think would be interesting. I find it really hard not to, like, buy it. Because one day I'm going to have the time for it, right? I definitely have a problem. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know. I don't know entirely what to do about it. In any case, so today was the Christmas concert. And so I was actually going to unpack this box of books tomorrow, but honestly, I just couldn't wait. So I decided I was going to do it today. And, have a look at what I bought, because I've forgotten. And we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Okay. So, it's like an early Christmas for me. They really know how to pack them up. Alright. So, it's another hardcover. I made a rule a long time ago that I didn't want to be buying hardcovers just because they're heavier to move. But I still end up getting them apparently. Okay, so this is At the End of the World. It looks like a nice short read. A true story of murder in the Arctic. I'm not really a big fan of murder mysteries. I don't know if this is going to be a mystery, to be honest. But this is a true story, so it might be different. I don't know. It sounded interesting to me. I think I was aiming just to try to get my $45 in to get my free shipping. Ooh, this one looks really interesting. The Last of the Tribe, the epic quest to save a lone man in the Amazon. I think this one's going to be really, really good. I have high hopes. I hope it's well written because the story itself sounds really fascinating. Oh, another hardcover. And it's big and heavy. All right, so this is clearly going to have to be a winter read. It's The Labyrinth of the Spirits. So, I am a big fan of Shadow of the Wind. And I tried reading the other one in this trilogy. It did not go well. I have not DNF'd it yet because I just haven't. I keep hoping I'll maybe go back to it. And then this one sounds really good though. So, I mean, anything that has a Cemetery of Lost Books has to be good, right? The Cemetery of Forgotten Books, sorry. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe this is a separate. Oh, yeah. This is totally separate. So, yay, I've got a whole nother series. Hopefully, they're, like, awesome. So, Shadow of the Wind, The Angel's Game is the one that I have put to the side for a little while, a long time ago. The Prisoner of Heaven, I feel like I have to look for that one. Oh, no. This is the fourth one in the series. Okay, we're good. I've got two more. Apparently, though, these are books that he wrote. You can, you don't have to read them in order. Essentially, you can come at them at any point. Then I got The Runner, 4 years living and running in the wilderness. I love trail running. So I'm hoping that this will be a really interesting read. Right on the front, it says the most beautiful book I ever read. Ooh. Kind of excited about that. Because right now, I'm actually reading a book that I'm very much in love with. I'll do a video about that later. Four Corners, A Journey into the Heart of Papua New Guinea. I'm very excited about that. I used to live in Indonesia. So I'm interested to hear about this adventure. And this one's gonna be good. I hope. It seems like it's gonna be good. The Catalog of Shipwrecked Books. So Christopher Columbus, his son, and the quest to build the world's greatest library. I think it's gonna be really, really good. In this innovative work of history, the author tells the extraordinary story of Hernando Colón, a singular visionary of the printing press age who also happened to be Christopher Columbus's illegitimate son, which I did not know. I did not know he had an illegitimate son. At the peak of the age of exploration, he traveled with Columbus on his final voyage to the New World, a journey that ended in disaster, bloody mutiny, and shipwreck. After Columbus's death in 1506, the 18-year-old Hernando sought to continue and surpass his father's campaign to explore the boundaries of the known world by building a library that would collect everything ever printed. How I've never heard about this before. I have no idea, but I'm super excited to read about this. And then lastly, Wild Nights, How Taming Sleep Created Our Restless World. As somebody who suffers from insomnia, I think this will be a really good read for me. So those are the books that I bought while I was suffering from insomnia. I'm going to go and grapple with my Tsundoku habit. Hopefully I'll sort something out. Happy reading.